everybody. I'm a yoga teacher specializing in yoga for scoliosis. I also run a fabulous Facebook group called Yoga for Scoliosis Community, where you will find lots of like-minded people who have got scoliosis, or who are going through the same thing as you do, and just supporting each other, asking questions, supporting each other, motivating each other with our yoga practice. So it would be really, really lovely to see you there if you haven't joined us already. Good, so let's get started for today. So today we're going to talk about a right thoracic and right thoracolumbar curve. Good, so let's look at what this curve might look like. So it could either be a right thoracic or right thoracolumbar curve. So I'm going to try and draw it. Let's do the head here. So that's the view from the back. Let's draw the spine, right thoracic curve. There might be a left compensating curve, but let's just kind of assume it's just a right one, and then we do the pelvis here at the bottom. So that's one version, right thoracolumbar curve, also known as a C curve. It's just basically a little bit lower, and it might spread over the whole, the thoracic and the lumbar spine. These are very little people, as you can see. What I want to show you is what the ribs are doing here. So for this one, right thoracic curve, the ribs are kind of going in like this, and you can tell I'm not very good at drawing. But the principle hopefully becomes clear. It's not a very good drawing at all, actually. But the principle is that the ribs are going together here, and here they are flaring out. And just imagine what's happening to the muscles here. So the muscles here are completely compressed. There isn't a lot of space here to breathe, first of all. And here on this side, you might feel more open, more able to breathe, but those muscles are long, but they can't actually contract. So what we're going to try and do in this practice is we're going to try and lengthen this part here. So we'll lengthen this side of the body, and then on this side, this is your hump side. So we call it the hump, where the shoulder blade is protruding, where you might feel, yeah, you basically have a little hump on that side. And that's why we're going to try and bring that shoulder blade back at the back. And obviously also with this kind of creating space here on this side, we're going to try and kind of bring this one a little bit more back to a normal position. Good, so hopefully this all makes sense. It's very important that you know what your curve pattern is, so you can work with it effectively. So let's get started with our practice today. We're going to start in Tadasana, in mountain pose. So making sure that your heels, your ankles are directly underneath the knees are directly underneath the hip bones. So feet hip distance apart. Just look down, making sure that they are aligned, so they are doing the same thing. So you don't want one foot, I'm exaggerating obviously, but sometimes one foot will turn out, especially if you also have a lumbar curve. So make sure that they are even. So from there, we're going to just lift the toes for a moment and just spread them really wide, making a little bit of space in between each toe. And then imagine you're growing roots into the ground. So bend your knees slightly and then pressing your feet into the floor, so straightening the legs. And this creates this lovely rebound effect which travels all through the spine, lifting you a little bit taller. So if you didn't feel it, try it again. So bend your knees, pressing the feet into the ground, lifting up a little bit taller. We're keeping the rib cage in. So imagine you have a string attached to the sternum and the pubic bone, and you're tying a knot here at the front. So we're keeping the rib cage in, lifting up through the crown of the head. And then we're going to externally rotate the arms for a moment, especially that right arm. So just, if you're thinking back at that picture, at the image, this is where your rib hump is. So it will be on the right side. So this is where the shoulder will be slightly rolling forward naturally. So what we're doing is we're counteracting this. So we're externally rotating that arm a little bit more than the left. So it might look a little bit strange. You wouldn't probably stand around like this in your kitchen while you could. It would be a great practice. Let's see if you can lift up a little bit taller. Keep breathing. So we're breathing in and out through the nose, just allowing for the body to absorb all that information, what it's like to stand like this. Good. And then from there, we're going to take the arms up over the head. So we're going to lift the arms. So what I want you to do is really stretch up through the arms and then draw the shoulder blades down. So we're connecting the arms back into the shoulder sockets. So we're lifting up through the rib cage. So imagine somebody is lifting you through here, through the rib cage. And then another thing to just be aware of is when you're lifting the arms up, make sure you don't start to arch in the back and you're letting the ribs poke out here at the front. So when you lift the arms, keep the rib cage in, keep that zipping up action here at the front. Lifting up through the rib cage. Good. So from there, we're going to take hold of the left wrist. So left wrist. You might not be able to see it from there, but it's more about the action in the back anyway. So we're going to lift up. So right thoracic curve, just imagine where it's going. So it's going here to the right. We're counteracting this by slowly taking the arm over to the side, and we're bending the upper body over towards the right. Now keep the lower part of the spine, especially if you have a lumbar curve, keep it very stable. So it's just coming from that thoracic spine. Keep breathing. We're taking another couple of deep breaths here. And then slowly coming back to center. And then we're going to do the other side just for a moment. But on this side, we're going to concentrate on lifting up much more than bending over. So just a little bit of a lift, just as this right side also gets tight. And then coming back to center, we're going to do the left arm one more time. So with the right hand, taking hold of the left wrist, stretching up and then over. So breathing into that left side of the rib cage, which gets a little bit, well, quite a lot compressed depending on the degree of your curve. And then slowly coming back to center and release. Good. Maybe feeling a little bit taller after this. So let's do one more little exercise. So we're going to turn to the wall. So you need a wall on the side. So right side towards the wall. And bring the arms up onto the wall. So from there, just look down at your feet. So you still have your feet hip distance apart. Really making sure that the hips stay level. Again, especially if you have a lumbar curve. So the left arm is just kind of, left fingers are pointing down towards the ground. And then we're going to take the arm back. So imagine this is 12 o'clock. We're going to take it to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then we're going to take it to 3 o'clock here. So just imagine again, this is the side where the shoulder blade is poking out. So we're going to turn the hand slowly. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm going to press my little finger side of the hand into the wall a little bit more, lifting the palm away from the wall. So I'm turning the hand to probably not completely facing up. That is really strong, but just maybe slightly turning away. So I'm really trying to keep that right hip forward at the same time. So just, it's very easily done that you start to turn towards the wall. So see if you can keep the hips facing forwards. So this is quite strong. If this is too much for you, step away from the wall slightly. Slowly release. Lift the arm up one more time and then release. Good, so let's do the other side. Whew. So this is quite strong. This is a little bit more advanced and good to do if it's on a day where you might not be feeling so much pain. So you don't want to start your practice in pain. You really only want to work on releasing and relaxing when you're in pain, and work on this when you feel a little bit better and want to stretch out a little bit more and strengthen the body. So let's do the other side. So on this side, we're going to bring the right hand behind the back. So again, this is to counteract that the shoulder blade that is poking out. Going to take the left arm up towards the ceiling, hand facing towards the wall. And then we're going to take the hand down to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then to 3 o'clock. Good. So just a little stretch. We're not going to stay on this side for too long. So on this side, I want you to focus more on the right arm and bringing that elbow away from you. So you're opening through the chest on that right side a little bit more. Quite a strong stretch. So if this is too much, concentrate only on the right arm. Keep the left arm up towards the ceiling. And just focusing on opening this side. One more breath. And then slowly releasing the arms. Good, so I hope you enjoyed this little practice today. As usual, always let me know if anything works for you, it doesn't work for you. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to cover. And I will see you here very soon for the next video.